All right. Do you want users to make their reports easier for them to use, access, understand what they're looking at, know how to work with it? Well, you need to give users common sets of information about every single report that they have in access to and that they're using. And it's very contextual. So you need information on every specific report and sometimes on every page. Well, to do this and to make this work kind of at scale across hundreds of reports, you want to have a common information page that's attached to each and every report or set of reports or groupings. However, you gotta have at least one of these. Okay. This video, I'm going to go in depth on how you do that and how you do that with the common background. You'll see some of the stuff in the backgrounds best practices video. I'm going to go into more detail on that information page in this video here. All right, if you want early access to this content, you can become a member for as little as $5 a month. You can get early access to all these videos. And while you're here, do the like, subscribe, leave a comment, the YouTube stuff, right? That really, it does help. I appreciate it. Please do that thing. All right. All right, we're going to start off with the overview page. Okay. So, this is our information page that we're going to have. And we're going to make sure that this is in at least every report that's out there. As I said in the intro, you might even want to have it for if you have really complex reports, you might even have it like in a grouping of tabs that you send people to this page for more information. Okay. But at least you want to have this on every single report. All right. Now, I'm going to actually hone in on something right here. Let's talk about what are we going to put inside this overview box right here. All right. So in here is going to be your basic overview or the business justification, the why this report is so important. So why should people be using this report? What are they hoping to accomplish with it? You want to make sure that the people really understand the purpose of that report, so they don't go and do something wrong with it. All right. It should be short and sweet and to the point. It should really address and be specific to the audience who's going to be using it. You shouldn't need to define the audience. Hopefully it's who they are, right? But like make sure that if you are specific in the audience, you call that out here. Okay. So the overview is going to be like the first thing that you have. All right. The next thing I really like to have is I like to make sure that I've got any sort of navigational details that may not be clear or easy to understand for a user, kind of spelled out. So, for example, if you have drill through capabilities on your visuals, call them out here so people understand, like, oh, I can drill into the details on an account, or I could drill into details on customer, or whatever the case may be. You kind of call that out so it's easy for people to understand, like, what are those navigational functionalities I'm going to have? Or maybe you're intending that they update things in source systems that bleed back into Power BI, right? Any of that type of navigation, you want to make sure that they really understand what it is, how to access it, and how that functions and works. Okay. Next section, and this is kind of a big one. A lot of people start with this. God knows I did. It's the key metrics definition. Okay. This is where you're going to go in and you're going to spell out and define the metrics. Now, and a lot of times you're going to find that you've got enough room to like kind of define two, maybe three key metrics, maybe a few more. Uh, but make sure you put these in here. And if you need to, include in here like a link to where more definitions are. So maybe it's a link over to Purview, or maybe it's a link over to like a SharePoint site where you've got those definitions in place, right? Whatever the business definitions users have to have in order to understand your reports, you want to have it all inside one easy to access place that's consistent across your reports. Okay. Now, let's talk about the next section, context and insights. All right. Now, contextually speaking, this is something that a lot of people can like get confused about. Like, what do we put inside of here? Maybe come up with a better name. If something like makes more sense to you, go ahead and do that. I like context and insights because I use this for kind of two different things. One, which is like, hey, this report is supposed to, we have the reason for the report. The why is up in the overview. But this is going to give you some background, some justification, some insights, not just on like why you or how you have the report, but like context around like the actions that people should be taking from it, right? Maybe it's appropriate for you to start to schedule phone calls with clients who have a specific type of insight. Or maybe if you're doing product analysis, one of the things you'd want to do from that product analysis is look for products that have a low or a high profit margin but low sales. Look to increase marketing budget. I don't know. Whatever the appropriate actions are that people should be taking, or examples of the types of appropriate actions, I like to put these here inside my reports so that users who are not accustomed to working with data, they can do that without any problems. That brings me to a big key point, and uh, especially around this page, but really anything in Power BI. Please remember, studies have shown, broadly speaking, only about 20% of users are actively using like business intelligence solutions that are provided for them. The reason for that being is they often don't have proper context. They don't understand their data. They don't get it or they don't like it, right? Maybe the data quality is shit or something. Oops, maybe I'm not supposed to swear, but whatever, right? Uh, uh, this information page can really help bring a lot of the context to a given report to help people with the adoption. And remember, it's not uncommon for people to actually look and read all sorts of things about a report. This is just a good place to start, and having that context and insights here, having these definitions, this type of formal information in one place really helps make it much more accessible and easy for users to understand. All right, let's get back to it. All right, we've got one more section, three more spaces inside of it. Okay, so let's look at our data sources. Now, this is where I want you to list out all of the data sources that are putting information into this model that you're reporting. Okay, now I'm not talking, hey, what semantic model you're connected to or what lakehouse you're connecting to, but I'm talking about the source systems that you're connecting to, as well as like the last time a data set was refreshed, right? So like I would want to have in here like CRM, and at the time of the filming it's 3/27/2025, and it was refreshed at 6 a.m., right? Now clearly you don't have as big as this. You could potentially have many sources in here. But the idea being is you want to make sure people have a clear view into like what sources are inside of this model, as well as when was it last refreshed. Okay, that will help them understand how recently has this been updated. Is this still relevant? Maybe it's something that's just super old. And actually, that kind of leads us to that our next section here, which is update frequency. Okay, now the reason we want to have the update frequency is like, okay, so in this case, this report with this time, refresh today and on time, right? Because I would have in here T CRM daily at 6 a.m. Right? So users could go in and compare and look at these two values and see, okay, hey, do these align? If it says daily at 6 a.m. and this hasn't been refreshed in several days or weeks or months or years, you know that there's an issue in the report, right? Hopefully there's not, right? Uh, but by having both of these things in here, you allow users to review, self understand what's going on inside of a data refresh. You might also have something along the lines of, CRM monthly at 6 a.m., right? So if the case was the report was only updated every month, you would not be expecting the updated source to be updated recently, right? Like, okay, so it's monthly, and I'd probably say monthly on the 3rd or monthly on the 1st or whatever it happens to be, right? Just give some information on the update frequency. All right. And then last, definitely not least, this is where you want to include any and all support details, right? It could be something that's as simple as call Chris, or it could be email report at mycompany.com, or call help desk and report number XYZ, right? So, and the help desk has your report numbers on file, and they know how to accelerate and they know how to resolve this issue, regardless of whatever this happens to be in your organization. Provide a common place for people to go to understand where they should be going to get help and support, right? I know inside of the Power BI service, there's all sorts of those metrics and all sorts of those places where you can see that information. But please remember, like, Power BI is built to be embedded and integrated in all sorts of different solutions. People aren't always going to be going to Power BI, and that's a good thing, right? This report, whatever report people are consuming, maybe it's embedded in CRM, or maybe it's embedded in Teams, or maybe it's embedded in a website, right? Regardless of where that report is, you want to make sure that you've got good context, good information about that report so users can make educated decisions about what's going on. All right. No, I already did this one time, but I really kind of breezed through this and doing all the background stuff. I want to spend a little more time talking about the importance of a report information page. Make sure you understood how and why you should be using this. Please, please, please start adopting this inside your organizations, both your users and your support staff, and everyone's going to be much more appreciative of this. All right. Um, I hope you find this exceedingly helpful. Um, if you're still watching, what I would love to get some feedback from you on what AIs are you using, what AIs are you playing with, are you finding interesting insights with. I'll say I've been getting a lot of fun and a lot of insights from Copilot lately. I've been using that quite a bit. I'm also using Grok, and I sometimes go back to ChatGPT, like the original. And I kind of, especially if it's something that's bigger, I'll like kind of play them off on each other. But you tell me, what AI chatbots are you using? What are you working with? What fun stuff are you doing with AI? Leave that in the comments down below too. All right. With that said, you have the best day ever. Peace. All right, I get it. This could be hard. There's so much, so much for people to do. If you need help, don't worry, I got you. Head over to bakertilly.com/digital. Click on the I need help link, fill out the form, say Chris Wagner sent you, or you got it from KratosBI, right? Something like that. Someone will reach out to help you. All right. But if you think you can do this, and I've got confidence you can, check out this video and this video. These should help you. But I believe in you. You can do this.